Yes, folks, today is the day that Microsoft has been promising for many years now. Granted, Vista, it's not as exciting as a console launch for most of us, but this does affect almost every PC owner out there. So let's take a look back at what had 12 people rocking the night away at Office Max at about 12:01 a.m. Windows Vista. 6 years in the making, hundreds of millions in development costs, but today Bill Gates proclaims that the next generation of Windows is here. Yeah, we've heard it all before. But is it really worth upgrading? Windows Vista comes packed with promises of improved features, like a new visual interface, tighter security, better search, and improved gaming. But Vista also comes packed with plenty of built-in criticisms. The high price tag, risky reliability, and the fact that it works best on hardware that you probably don't have. Is Vista enticing enough to make the jump from a stable XP? Is the price too high? Will Vista need some time to get all the kinks worked out? Show us your wow, baby. It's The Loop. All right, folks, joining us via satellite tonight from the Microsoft campus in Redmond, Washington, Group Manager for Games for Windows, Chris Donahue is here, and from San Francisco, Editor for Extreme Tech and host of DL.TV, Patrick Norton. Welcome to The Loop, guys.
Thanks, Kevin.
Patrick, I'd like to start with you, sir. The wow, Gates says it's here, it's now. Tell me, are you wowed? I know your cap's on backwards. Was it blown that way? Was the brim in front until you installed Vista, or...?
I'm old. I'm feeling a little punk rock. You know, had to wear the catcher's mask. Actually, the Vista install is amazing. It's so pretty. It installs fast. It promises to be more secure. Now that it's actually here, it's going to be interesting to watch that first 6 months to see what comes out of the woodwork to try to knock holes into it.
So you've been wowed by the installation bar thus far. You've been wowed by a progress bar.
Hey, that's a lot of work.
Okay, I'm a geek.
No, I understand. Chris is right. There's a lot of work that goes in the install, Chris. But, you know, everybody's initial reaction is, of course, wow, this thing is pretty. And I get that. And that's obviously very important in this day and age to have a piece of software that is aesthetically pleasing. But is there more? Like, what can Vista do?
You're competing with OS X, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. You are competing with what Apple's put out there. But is there more to this thing? What can this thing do that XP can't?
Like I say, it's like a Christmas present. It's pretty on the outside, but there's a lot on the inside. I mean, you mentioned it earlier. There's search. There's all of the security and stability functionality. We've rewritten the driver model. The operating system is really rock solid. I've been using it for well over the last year. We've had a lot of people. I mean, I think Bill mentioned yesterday 5 million beta testers. That's a lot of people checking out the code and telling us what they like about it, what they don't like about it, and any problems they may have. And as Patrick said, you know, we'll see in the next 6 months. Look, we're a big target, but we've responded, and that's what we spent the last 6 years doing with Windows Vista.
And that's the thing. Microsoft has always been a huge target. They've really had to put up with dealing that. You had the big red bullseye. But Patrick, do you think that this security is going to last, or do you think that 6 months from now it's going to be the same old patch and wait system that we had with XP?
I don't think patches are going away anytime soon. On launch day, there were patches that were starting to show up, or additions to the operating system that were starting to show up, other than the Hold'em poker, which is fabulous, I got to say. But what you're looking at is going to be, everybody in the world is going to be looking at this as a target. You know, if you've got a system that's more than 2 years old, you don't want to upgrade to the operating system. If your system's comfortable the way you are, you don't want to upgrade to the operating system. There's been some early tests that indicate if you're doing things like rendering out large video files, the performance is down for XP. So you got to really think about whether you jump into this one. On a new PC,
I'm going to disagree with your point about upgrading. If your system's a couple of years old, you know, then you may have to upgrade some hardware. But, you know, there is so much more functionality and capabilities in Vista. Just the search functionality, and you couple that with Office 2007, it's an incredibly powerful tool, not just for business, but also for personal users.
Yeah, but Office 2000, so between Office 2000 and an upgrade to this, you're talking about laying out a few $100s, assuming you're an Office user. The search is incredible, but you know what? I've been living with the clunky search in XP for the last few years. I can probably get along with it until I buy my next system. I mean, the question is, are you an operating system geek? Is this a shiny, exciting thing for you? Or do you use your computer every day? If your computer works for you, you got to think twice before dumping a new operating system on it. Although, like we said before, the install, the upgrade, much, much better over XP compared, and
I think you have a better experience overall. I mean, the aesthetically pleasing stuff, while it is pretty, it also does have benefits. Eye strain, the ability to sit in front of your monitor for longer. Those are all things that we took into consideration when we built Vista. That's all part of the graphics component. It's all part of the, it's not just pretty. There's also a functional use to it.
And now obviously, we're talking about upgrades back and forth, whether or not people will take the hardware leap, whether or not they'll spend a couple $100 to run a new version of Office. But upgrades, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, they're probably a small portion of Microsoft business. You guys are probably focused on the new PC user, the guy who's getting a new machine that's going to come bundled with Vista and bring them into that family of OS.
The majority of versions of Windows do go out on new PCs, and you know, Dell and HP and Gateway and all of those companies, IBM and the rest of them are selling Vista PCs now. They've been selling Vista Ready PCs and Vista Premium capable PCs for well over 6 months now. So there's a huge installed base out there that not only can run Vista, but are running Vista.
But now, Chris, as someone who's very familiar with all operating systems and PC users in general, how long do you think it's going to take for something like Vista to become the standard, to become the common ground that people develop for, that people are used to using?
Well, the thing is that you mentioned DirectX 10, and we'll talk about that later on. But fundamentally, if you develop an application that runs well on XP, it's going to run well on Vista. More gaming specific, there's some features and functionality we put in there that let people have a better experience and developers can take advantage of, that give people a better experience on Vista than on XP. But as far as when Vista becomes a standard, I mean, Vista's the standard now as far as I'm concerned, but as far as installed base goes,
it's also the standard if you're buying a new PC, because you can't, for like you mentioned, Dell, HP, Gateway, unless you're a business customer, you can't get anything other than Vista, which I don't think is a problem on a new PC.
All right, let's very quickly talk about DirectX 10 here, because this is supposed to change the way we play games on our PC, which for our audiences, I'm sure, is a huge issue here. But then you have somebody like Quake pioneer John Carmack, who says nothing is going to help a game by going to a new operating system, and that he could run games on XP for years without actually upgrading it. And he said that, and this is a quote, that Microsoft was grasping at straws to find a reason for people to upgrade their computers. What do we think about that?
I disagree. I mean, the thing is that we built Vista from the ground up to make playing games on Windows better. The Game Explorer, parental controls, even the new graphics driver model that I mentioned earlier, all of those things were originally designed specifically to make gaming better on Windows Vista PCs. XP's been great, and over the 5 or 6 years that it's been out, it's gotten more and more solid. Again, you mentioned the updates, and that's why.
All right. Patrick, final question to you, sir, very quickly. Are you going to upgrade, yes or no?
Well, at work, I've already upgraded. I'm running 2 systems because I have to answer all the questions on DLTV about how do I make Vista do this, what's Vista doing that. At home, I'm going to wait a little bit. First place I'm going to go with it is the Media Center edition.
All right, thank you, guys. I want to thank Chris and Patrick for keeping us in the loop. Appreciate it, guys. Look, should you upgrade? That's the question, obviously. Basically, I liken the situation to women. Your current lady or operating system, she's stable. She gets the job done, but after 6 years, the act is getting a little stale, not going to lie. So the newer, younger model, well, she sounds appealing, but it all comes at a high price. Once you get past that glossy exterior, the problems start to surface. You've got compatibility issues, a lack of stability, which eventually could lead to serious security threats. So instead of giving up what's been treating you right for so long, maybe you should just take it easy with Vista. Get to know each other a little better first. Patience is a virtue, my friends.
Attack of the Show, weeknights at 7, only on G4.